If it is or if it ain't, it's going to come out. Good morning, everybody. It's your girl, Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love. Your daily dose of inspiration and juice. And today's topic is calling all spectators. Get into the fight, and it is April 12th, 2023. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Happy Wednesday. I hope that you all had a great Tuesday. Mine was just fine. The main thing I did yesterday was another episode of the GSL Talk Show. Had an awesome conversation with a lady that I have known for quite a while. And yeah, it was just very nice to talk to her again. I guess see her again in so many words and ways, as well as just, see another woman of God, that the Lord is using to minister through the art of performance art, She's a fellow actress as well here in Atlanta. And yeah, so it was nice just seeing her again and talking to her and just hopefully share with you all a little bit more about her and the things she has going on that you always see on a future episode of the GSL Talk Show at some point, if the Lord's will. Outside of that, I just was it was a Tuesday, so NJ had class, so that was another thing. And yeah, that's pretty much kind of it, working on my little tasks and different things that I do, y'all know all that. But that's pretty much what yesterday looked like. This morning, y'all, okay, so I woke up to the sound of my alarm, and I guess I just got right to work, man. I ended up seeing that I had missed some emails last night and whatnot, and basically a potential guest reached out, and it was interesting because they reached out on the website and I guess asked the question that ultimately kind of in a small way inspires this conversation, but also inspired me to do a lot of research this morning, y'all. Basically, without saying who and all that type of stuff, the potential guest is, their first question was, what does God have to do with sex? And I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, I hope that between when they wrote that and when they sent the message or whatever, like that they actually took a look at some of the content, that hopefully would answer the question itself. However, I just felt led to just go ahead and respond. And, in my usual response of, hey, yeah, be on the show, I answered the question and whatnot of why we believe that it's important for God to be incorporated in sex and everything really, but also in sex, because this platform is called God, Sex, and Love. And I know I've shared the testimony over and over and over and over and over again. But I think I probably do need to either just really address it head on, even more than I've already have. I think maybe I need to do some updates to the website. I may also need to do some video content. I don't know, but this question, as well as some other things that I was receiving and whatnot, is showing me that your girl got more work to do. Like, I got a lot more work to do when it comes to not only addressing this question about the platform or anything like that, but just in general, because there means there's still room and spaces that are available to be filled. And I'm not sitting here thinking that I'm going to be able to fill every void when it comes to this conversation about God and sex and love and anything, right? But I do intend to have this platform address a bit, or quite a bit, and everything like that. And so I just started really just doing a deep dive and researching, different things that we could do as a platform to, um, provide resources and whatnot, regarding, the subject matter, as well as just everything, and who knows, y'all, there might be a lot more things coming down the line for us, because like I said, there just seems to be a lot more work to do and a lot more. Uh, I mean, I know that there are other people tackling these conversations as well, so I'm not sitting here acting like I'm the only one. For a while, I did think, because again, back in the day, back when I needed the content that I'm creating, um, I didn't see much then. Now I would say there are other platforms now that, tackle, sex and being a Christian and everything like that. We know that there's people like the Christian Sexpert that's out here now. There's a lot of people that are tackling this subject matter. So to me, if I just say this again, to me, what I see God, Sex, and Love is now is beyond the original concept. The original concept was just a talk show. But now I'm seeing that it's a platform that shows what incorporating God in every aspect of your life looks like, including sex. Um, so, like, I know it's kind of in your face and out there just to say God, Sex, and Love. It puts that thing out there and just like, boom, it's in your face. And I get that. But on the flip side, I'm like, it's really beyond just those three words. I mean, and they have a lot to do with each other, in my humble opinion, but also based on Bible. So anyway, with that being said, y'all, with all the work that I guess the Lord was showing me that I need to do or whatnot, thus, I guess, that's where partially, again, of the inspiration comes from when I'm, I guess, calling out the spectators to get into the fight. At the end of the day, of course, be led by God. I'm not sitting here saying everybody should, teach or anything like that. What I'm saying is that a lot of believers are spectators right now, when they probably should be teachers, right? A lot of believers are, backseat drivers or whatever. They have a lot to say about people that are actually out here doing work and doing things for the kingdom. And it's like, why don't you get into the fight? It's not about us, debating each other all the time or anything like that. It's about getting into the spiritual fight and using whatever the gifts and talents and whatever the Lord has put in you, for his glory and honor. At the end of the day, like, yes, okay, there's room to call out, things that aren't pleasing to God, things of that nature and stuff like that. But if that's all you do, then, I would, this is me and my little humble opinion, I would kind of question your faith and whatnot, because there's a lot of space and room for believers to be doing the will of God and to get out here and share the gospel and all kinds of things like that. Like I said yesterday, having the conversation with my friend I'm telling you all about, again, yes, she is an actress and she performs a character and whatnot, and she has, her TikTok and whatnot that she creates content, but she's also creating content that is faith-based, and she's also ministering in a lot of ways when it comes to, again, sharing the gospel. Maybe it's in a comedic way or whatever, but it's doing something, again, I feel like me with GSL, I mean, sharing what I'm experiencing with doing daily Bible study, as well as having meaningful conversations on the GSL talk show and whatever else we create from here on out. I hope, again, will give glory and honor to the Lord, and also, again, just show or just give a glimpse or give people a place to know that, okay, I understand the ups and downs of being a Christian. I understand of the ups and downs of trying to live a biblical life and everything like that. And honestly, with everything that's going on around us, it's like it. I don't even know if we really see a really good example of what it really looks like. Like, not to say that there's not people out here living biblically and stuff like that. There are, and stuff like that, and people are depending on the Lord and living by faith. And there's a lot of things going on. But the people that get the push, the people that get the funding, the people that get the mainstream media attention and all of that are usually the people that are pushing narratives that are against the Bible versus the people that are actually, you know, trying their best to live according to the word. I mean, we can see again with everything that has been coming out lately, from Black China, and her turning a new leaf and you know, trying to follow God. That's probably the most positive thing that I've seen in mainstream media, at least over the past few weeks. But people are coming for her. You know, they're attacking her. Like, well, why did you? You know, why are you putting down your OnlyFans? Or you made all this money, and you know, they're attacking her and they're questioning. You know, in regards to why are you turning to the faith? You know what I mean? Like, and so that's just one example. But let's think about this thing that came out with the Dalai Lama. You know, and there's just so many different things that are happening, and it's like we as believers are brushing it to the side. And so instead of getting in the fight and actually calling out evil and things like that, we're spectating and commenting on fellow believers and the things that God is doing with them, for them, and through them. So that's where the inspiration came from, y'all. But I'm gonna get into some Bible because you know, it's just not just me talking today, y'all. I'm just gonna share what the Lord was sharing with me this morning in regards to this conversation or this subject in particular. So Mark 16:15, it says, "And he said to them, go into the world and proclaim the gospel to the whole creation." So yeah, I know our friends over there at the Strip Church, aka Lace Ministries, they like to point out that going into all the world doesn't mean just the areas you're comfortable in. We're also called to go in the areas that we may not be comfortable in. So shout out to them, because they actually go into, for example, the strip clubs and things like that, and minister to the people there. Now that ministry may not be for everybody, right? That ministry may not be for a struggling person that, you know, again, a person that may be struggling with certain type of sin and whatnot. Like, so by all means, people that are called to those type of ministries are the ones that should do those type of ministries. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not, even though I say calling all the spectators, I know I'm calling out everybody, right? Especially somebody that's claiming to be a believer. Yes, I'm calling us out. But at the same time, be led by God in regards to what he wants you to do in the fight. You know, we got to be wise out here. We can't just be, you know, out here doing things willy-nilly. You know, be called and accept your calling. Don't just be trying to step in everybody's lane and whatnot, or just think that, okay, well, I'm going to step in this lane or that lane. At the end of the day, I'm in the GSL lane because this is what the Lord has used to draw me nearer to him. I'm not sitting here trying to act like I'm a whole guru about everything, but I would say that the Lord is using me because I'm a willing participant to be open and honest, as well as transparent, and as well as to do whatever needs to be done to create a platform to be, you know, all of those things, and create it to be judgment free, whether people believe what I believe or not. They're welcome to come here and talk to me about what they believe and whatnot. And I'm willing to have a conversation because I understand, okay, freedom of speech is important, as well as I understand that, okay, even if someone doesn't believe what I believe, as long as we can come to the table and say, I can say what I believe and they can say what they believe, then this is a platform for that. Now, I'm not necessarily trying to, you know, offend nor be offended, right? So don't come to the platform if you want to sit here and just bash me about the Bible, because at the end of the day, I'm going to just say, hey, well, this is what the Bible say, and I'm not the one that wrote it. So at the end of the day, I believe that it was God inspired, and that's where the conversation really ends at this point, you know. And so it just really depends. But my thing is, again, this verse is telling us that it's important to go into all the world and proclaim the gospel. And so if you're listening to the sound of my voice and you see if you feel any kind of inkling in your heart that the Lord is pushing you to do that in some way, then I would, by all means, seek him on what he wants you to do. Because there's plenty of room and things that need to be done. Speaking of that, Matthew 9:37 and 38, it says, "Then he said to his disciples, the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Therefore pray earnestly to the Lord of the harvest to send out laborers into his harvest." There you go. At the end of the day, like I said, doing the research that I was doing this morning, I was seeing that there's so many things that GSL can be doing or probably need to be doing. And that's just me with my humble little platform. You know what I'm saying? Like, who knows what else all needs to be done, but there's plenty of work that needs to be done in the kingdom. And so we need more laborers out there doing the work. Whatever, again, the work may be, whatever your calling may be, whatever your gifting may be, there's plenty of room for you in the kingdom. And I believe that God wants us not just being spectators, right, and commentators and things of that nature, but getting in the fight and things like that. I'm going to keep going. Luke 12:2. It says, "Nothing is covered up that will not be revealed, or hidden that will not be known." I'm going to go ahead and say this next verse as well. It's Luke 8:17. It says, "For nothing is hidden that will not be made manifest, nor is anything secret that will not be known and come to light." I feel like these verses was important to share this morning because at the end of the day, like if I just, again, reflect on GSL, right, and reflect on the things that people got to say about GSL, at the end of the day, like, we can try to sweep under the rug all the issues of life and pretend like these things ain't happening. But at the end of the day, there's problems in the church or in amongst us as believers, as well as the ongoing issue of what's going on in the world or non-believers in regards to sex, in regards to marriage, in regards to relationships, in regards to all of these different things. And it's all going to come to the light, and it is coming to the light. Again, if there was no issue when it came to, for example, Black China turning a new leaf in her life, then she wouldn't be, facing any backlash for coming to Christ. She would be celebrated and whatnot. But instead, we see that the world is not necessarily celebrating her coming to Christ. They're more so, trying to ask those questions and dig under her skin or whatever the case is, to be like, you was making all the money when you was on OnlyFans. You was doing this and doing that. So why you not still doing this and doing that? Oh, that ain't a wise decision to turn to Christ. There's a clear example that there's issues when it comes to relationships or sex or any of that. Let's talk about marriage, y'all. There's definitely issues when it comes to marriage. Just people that are gung-ho and just always, like, online almost every day, bashing marriage, bashing, just relationships in general between men and women and everything. If there was no issues there, then, there would be no backlash and stuff going on in regards to that particular subject. So again, the more we try to sit here and brush things under the rug and pretend like, oh, everything is perfect, ain't nothing to talk about. Oh, why are y'all talking about sex? Why are y'all talking about relationships? Why are y'all talking about love? What does God have to do with those things? At the end of the day, we see what life without God looks like. And if you don't see it, turn on the news. Look around you. Look in your own family. At the end of the day, there's plenty of examples of what life overall, including sex, including everything, but what life in general looks like without God. So I'm here to tell you, if you didn't know, that at the end of the day, what's done in the dark is going to come to the light. Those two verses just said it plainly. And we see a lot of things coming to the light in this season. I don't know if people are paying attention or not, but there's a lot coming to the light in this season. And that means a lot of things was done in the dark. And people are brushing it under the rug and pretending like it's not there, but it's coming to the light, whether you know it or not, or whether we want to acknowledge it or not. So those that are willing to acknowledge it, if you see it too, again, get in the fight. Okay, get in the fight. However the Lord wants you to do it now. Don't just say, I'm not just saying get out here and be willy-nilly. I'm saying let the Lord lead you on where he wants you to be in the fight. But again, don't just be a spectator and a commentator. Actually, get in the fight. That's all I got to say about it. Anyway, Titus 1:16, it says, they profess to know God, but they deny him by their works. They are detestable, disobedient, unfit for any good work. Now listen, that might be pulp today. I hope nobody feels like their toes is stepped on this morning, because I'm not trying to step on nobody's toes. But at the end of the day, this is a verse that is very clear and prevalent in our days and times. So spectator, whoever you may be, if you spectating and commentating, but you ain't doing no work, this might be you. This is an example of you, friend, that you are proclaiming to know God, but then at the end of the day, you are denying him by your work or your lack of work for the kingdom. I mean, you know, and what is that? If you are not working for the kingdom and you're not using your gifts and talents or whatever the case is, and you just commentating or spectating and whatever, then it says here, they or you, fill in the blank, are detestable, disobedient, and unfit for any good work. So I guess no wonder you're not doing no work, because I guess you unfit to do it. Speaking of that, you know what? Here's another verse that stood out to me this morning to share. Again, it might be pulp, but here it is. Hebrews 5:12. It says, for though by this time you ought to be teachers, you need someone to teach you again the basic principles of the oracles of God. You need milk and not solid food. So there you go, friends. At the end of the day, some of these spectators and commentators, y'all should have been teachers at this point. But instead of being teachers, you out here still spectating and commentating. Like, at the end of the day, I'm not saying that I'm the one that is the one supposed to teach you. But maybe, I don't know. If you listen to the sound of my voice, maybe I am. I don't know. But this verse is clear that, you know, basically at the end of the day, if you are not, you know, where you're supposed to be spiritually, and being a teacher or being some type of, you know, person out here in the harvest, spreading the gospel, a laborer or something like that, if you're not in those positions and you should be, this is for you. Okay, friend. And you know in your heart where you should be. Because I tell you, when I was off track, I knew it. I knew it. I was like, you know what, Lord, I need to get back to being where I was one-on-one with you. Like, I need to get back to being in a place where I'm seeking you and hearing from you and things like that. When I was off track, I knew it deep down in my heart. And so at the end of the day, I believe that anybody listening to the sound of my voice, if you are feeling it in your heart right now, that little prick of saying, you know what, I need to be doing something for the kingdom. You know what, I got gifts and talents that I'm not using. You know, and all of that, you know, deep within. And I would say just seek the Lord on what to do, how to get started, use what you got, because there's plenty of room in the kingdom. There's plenty of things that need to be done. And that's the juice, y'all. That is ultimately the juice this morning. Now, the Bible verse of today is John 8:12. It says, then spake Jesus again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life. Friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye.
Hello, charmers. Visit ttcboutique.com for the latest in fashion and accessories. Twice the charm, the source of women clothing.